Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to Life with Jay and Joe. I
Hey
am
guys,
Jay.
I'm Joe.
Today we are going to go over a home improvement project that we decided to do for our living room. It is a large
Very
textured
large.
canvas piece.
I think it's like 76 inches by 65 inches.
So it's big.
It's big. Um, but I love it. And we decided to do a home improvement because we've done one before on the channel, which was an epoxy table that came out really nice. And we've been planning on doing some more home improvement projects. So this is the next one in the list.
So without further ado, let's jump right in.
All right, so guys, we're going to go ahead and take the measurements. And Jay's gonna write down the measurements, and I am going to use this handy tape measure. I had to think about what it was called to actually take the measurement. And it's about 76 inches.
76 in length.
Yes. About 64.5, but we can just say 65. So we have 65 inches in width, 76 inches in length. And basically, the new picture is going to take up this full picture because we decided to change it up.
Once we got the measurements we needed, we had to take a trip to our local Lowe's. There we had to get some wood. We got a 8 feet 2x2 wood. We got about six of those,
Yeah, about six.
and those are what we use to build the canvas, the actual frame for the canvas.
Yeah. Um, and when you do get the wood, try to make sure that your wood is as straight as possible because a lot of times when you go like to Lowe's or Home Depot, the wood is like really just not straight, crooked at the end. Some of them have like holes and try to get the best wood possible. It's really hard to find a actual completely straight piece of wood, but try to get it as straight as possible.
No
And this isn't
blemishes,
coming from this is coming from a gay man, but try to get it as straight as possible.
no blemishes, no bumps, no bruises.
Yes.
Those things will make for a better product at the end. Make the process go easier.
Right.
So you want to make your day as smooth as possible.
Exactly.
The next thing we had to get was a pack of staples, and because we already had an industrial stapler at home,
Yeah.
but no staples, that was the next thing on our list of things to get.
And then after that, we had to get some glue, Gorilla Glue. You know,
Wood
you
glue,
can never go wrong with Gorilla Glue. You've seen what happened with Gorilla Glue, so you
yes,
know it works.
yes.
But we got it for the wood, and we got the ultimate one to make sure that it worked.
Basically, what the purpose of getting the ultimate was to make sure the frame
Yes.
was as sturdy as possible,
Yeah,
was not gonna move,
exactly.
and we wanted to stay in place.
Because we are gonna like when we build the frame out, we are gonna use screws as well, but we use the glue just for an extra, I guess,
Layer
layer
of
of
stability,
yeah.
secure.
Yes, I'll take that. And
Uh,
then we got ready to check out at a Home Depot, bring up all the wood. The total came to about $58, which was pretty good, especially with all of the stuff that's like gonna be done. We do have to make one more trip. We gotta go to Walmart, pick up a few things, but in all, I think the material was definitely around like maybe around like 150, if even if that.
yeah.
And if you were to go out and buy what we're gonna actually show you that we built, if you were to go out and buy that, just the frame with the canvas by itself is over $500.
Facts.
And that's not even with the actual artwork done on it. So we
Facts.
are saving a lot of money. And it's fun.
It is fun. So the next stop is Walmart. Like you said, the first thing we're gonna grab is a fitted sheet. I'm sorry, a flat sheet.
Yes.
You want to make sure you get a flat sheet that has a blend of cotton and whatever else, but you want to make sure the cotton percentage is greater than whatever else is blended with. Cotton is just gonna help it soak up the liquid that it needs to harden,
Yes.
and it's gonna make the process so much easier. I wouldn't recommend using the polyester or if any of other of those like material sheets to get. You want to get a material that is predominantly cotton and mixed with something else.
Whatever he said, because he is the person that tells me what to do when we're doing these kind of projects. So I'm just gonna go with that. So after we got the sheet, then we got some lightweight spackling, which I can't really explain to you what it means, but Jay knows about all this stuff, so he can explain it way better than I can.
So there is. There are two different type of spackling that we need. We need a lightweight spackling and we need a spackling paste.
Okay. What's that?
Both of these things are used um, as a filler for your wall. Like if you have a hole in the wall, you can use a spackling paste.
Okay.
I believe. Now I'm not a construction worker, so please don't quote me on this. If you
Quote
know,
him on it.
if you know what spackling, lightweight spackling and spackling paste is really used for, drop down in the comments. But this is what I use it for. So yeah.
And this is what I use it for because he told me to.
So both of these things, I think you have, when you have a hole in the wall or like a dent in the wall or something, you can use either the spackling paste or the lightweight spackling to kind of fill in that void.
That
You're gonna
makes
need a
sense.
few other things, but this is basically what they use to as a top layer. So it gets hard. You can sand it. You can oh god. So it gets hard. You can sand it. You can paint over it. This is basically what they use to fill in holes and cracks and those things. So what we're gonna use it for, we're gonna use this along with several other things to make our sheet firm.
Right.
So we're gonna use that along with a few other things to make our sheet secure and hard and firm. And yeah, after it hardens, we're gonna do what we need to do for it.
And we did have to get the spackling paste off of Amazon because they didn't
Yes.
have it at Walmart. Although they do sell it at Walmart, but they had ran out. And Amazon was next day, and we needed it really quick.
Yes. So keep in mind, like I said before, all of these things are what we're going to use to make our cotton blend sheet hard once we put it on the canvas.
Right, because the sheet is the main part of the actual artwork.
Correct.
So next we had to get some Mod Podge. Mod Podge. Sounds so
Hmm.
weird saying that. And that's also going to be used to help make the sheet hard. It's like part of your mixture, right?
Yes, it is part of my mixture. For those of you who are creatives like myself, you know what Mod Podge is. Mod Podge is basically like,
Creatives like ourselves.
no, myself.
Oh, okay. So he's calling me not creative. But
No, nope, that's not what I said.
what'd you say?
I'm talking about myself. I'm not talking about
Well,
you.
why can't you say ourselves?
Well, you can say ourselves,
Okay.
creatives like myself, and
Okay.
then you can go.
No worries.
So you're not a creative.
I'm very creative.
Okay, so then say it.
Creative like myself, because clearly I can't say both of us.
I mean, if you are a creative, you know what Mod Podge is. Mod Podge is like a sealer. I use it as a glue. You can use it as a glue or a sealer. What happens is, whatever you put it on, it hardens. And it has like, you can get either glossy or matte. It does both, and basically it's like another layer of protection.
So since we were in the area and I had to bend down, I decided to do the knees challenge because my knees still work. Gotta do the knees challenge.
Come on, Megan knees. Let's see if you got the Megan knee. We'll move back and forth. Wow.
And I think I did a really good job at it. Like do the knees challenge, however the song goes or whatever they say. And I rocked a couple of times and I was able to pull it off. You guys can let me know if I did it right.
I mean, it was given more Luke than Megan.
Luke
Mm-hmm.
Skywalker?
Yeah.
Wow. Wow. So after that, we had to get some black acrylic paint. We got it in matte because we don't want it to shine. We want the matte. But if you're creating this for yourself, it's completely up to you. You can get whichever one you prefer. But we wanted to have the matte look.
Yes, the acrylic paint, it does come in either matte or glossy. We felt like the matte will go better for what we were making the canvas for, where we were going to put it, and our overall aesthetic. So we decided to go with the matte.
Right. And this is me again dancing because I'm such a good dancer. I surprise myself sometimes. All right. So then after that, we about to check out, and I think the total was about 70 something dollars.
Yeah,
So what was the total here?
$70.67.
Yeah, and I think we may have added a couple of items that we didn't need with this project. So
Yeah, I
one was
got
like
some
70
extra.
and then one was like 50 something. So that's less than 150. That's like 120 something. And probably less than 120 because some stuff we actually added that wasn't a part of this project. So after we checked out, it's time to leave Walmart. So now we're going to start doing the measurements. We're back at home and we have our circular saw, and you see I measured it at 76. That's where I put the line. Then when you do your cut, you want to make sure that your cut ends, because it's going to be a 45-degree angle cut. And you want to make sure that that 45-degree angle cut ends where you have that line. So on both sides, so when you have your full wood, if you measure the full piece of wood, even with the 45-degree cuts going in, you would still have your 76 inches or 65 inches for the other side. And not going to show every part that we cut, but now we're kind of putting it together. We have the four sides cut. I think we have all four sides cut at this point. And then after that, we're going to actually build like some extra um, part to make it more sturdy, which is going to go like kind of inside of the square box. I don't know what it's called, but you'll see it. It's basically going to help it stay even more sturdy. This little piece right here.
This is just like another layer of security, I guess. Like so because the canvas, excuse me, is going to be standing in an upright position, we wanted to add a little bit more stability to the frame.
Yes.
So these extra pieces of wood that we're putting on now is just going to add that extra layer of security to prevent the frame from bending or denting
Yes.
in either direction.
And I think the length for that I think was like 15 inches or no 17.5 inches.
Yeah. As you can see now, the frame is already put together, and we were just like testing it to see how big it was.
Yeah.
At this point, we felt like it needed one extra layer of security, so we added
Yeah.
a long vertical piece of wood that went from top to
One,
bottom,
yeah, just to make sure that it wasn't gonna like fall apart.
fall apart.
Which it felt pretty
Then
sturdy,
yeah.
but and then after all that, it got like really sturdy. So I think it's pretty good.
Yeah, keep in mind we also added the wood glue, and then after the wood glue, we also secured it with nails,
Yeah, full screws.
screws.
Yeah. So now we're gonna start cutting the canvas, which we'll have to show you a picture of the canvas. This is not like regular canvas, but it is some form of a canvas.
Yes, it is some type of a material. I'm not really sure of the brand. We're gonna add it in the description for you in case you want to get it. But it's a rather large piece of material, and we just had to cut it. I we thought that cutting it to a piece that was a little bit more manageable
Yeah.
would make the process easier. So that's what we did. And now that we have it cut,
Right.
we used a few pieces of
Bricks, I guess.
bricks,
I don't know what they're called.
pavers
Pavers. Yeah, yeah.
to kind of hold it in place while we pulled and stretched and then stapled.
Yeah, and we had to really make sure like this part is really important because it needs to be as tight as possible because you don't want to have it loose and then once you start working on it, this is going to cave in.
Yes.
So you have to make it really tight. So this part took a while.
Yes. If you ever work with the canvas, made a canvas, or purchased the canvas, you'll notice that the material on the canvas is stretched
Yeah.
like super tight. And that's what we were trying to do
Yeah.
there. We used the bricks to help us
Yeah.
pull and stretch, and the opposite side won't move.
Yeah, and then pretty much now we have the canvas built, which you can see, and it came out really nice actually.
It did. It came out really, really nice. Now that we have the canvas made, it is now time to
Do the
do
artwork.
the artwork. Right here, what we are doing is putting a layer of Mod Podge on top of the canvas
Yes.
before we add the sheet. And my thought process for this part is when we add the wet sheet on the Mod Podge,
Mhm.
it's gonna ultimately mix together, and then as it hardens or as the Mod Podge
Like it sticks to it better or something.
yeah, it's like the Mod Podge is gonna mix with the sheet because it's wet, and then it's gonna ultimately stick better on the canvas.
Okay.
Those are
That
my
makes
thoughts.
sense.
I
it
could be
makes, It
wrong.
makes sense to me.
I could be wrong, but this is just my brain working.
It makes
So
sense
that's
to
what I
me.
thought.
So this is where you're gonna start doing the mixture. I'm gonna let Jay talk about this because this is more his stuff. But you've already seen us buy the items. Now we're gonna actually use the items to do the mixture, and we got the stuff that we ordered from Amazon as well.
Yes. So there are two parts to this, right? So the first thing you want to do is you want to get yourself a bucket.
Okay.
You want to add some water to the bucket.
Is
Now
it warm water, cold water? Doesn't matter.
doesn't matter.
Okay.
The amount of water that you're gonna add depends on the size of the sheet that you have. We
Okay.
had a queen size sheet, so I added a relatively large amount of water. The reason for me adding this amount of water is because I want to be able to submerge the sheet in the water and the sheet to soak up all of what's in the bucket.
Okay, so a combination of all that stuff, which pretty much all of it makes it horror in some kind of way,
Yeah.
putting it all together with water is going to be the perfect mixture.
Yeah, so you want to make sure. So there's, like I said, there's two processes to this. The first process is to add a lot of water, and you want to get the water. You want to add enough water to soak in the sheet. So the purpose of adding a lot of water at this point is to fully allow the sheet to soak the mixture. Allowing the sheet to soak the mixture is going to make the sheet harden once it fully dries. This process, the drying process, usually takes about 24 hours. So you want to do this
Yeah.
with enough time, and you want to give it enough time to fully cure. Now you see me wringing out the sheet. After the sheet fully soaks all of the mixture, you want to wring it out
And it's
because
very heavy, by the
it
way.
is very heavy. It is very heavy. So this is a two-person job. You just want to make sure that you wring out any excess liquid. You
Hmm.
don't want to get it like completely dry, but you want to get it dry enough to where you
It's
can handle
manageable.
it.
Yeah.
You can handle it, and it's not like dripping liquid.
Yeah, because you don't want it just dripping water everywhere.
Right. So once you lay it on the canvas, now you can start to make your design, and you can.
And when you start making your design, it's really like whatever you feel. Like we didn't have a set way of doing it. We just was making crinkles and wrinkles wherever we felt like it, and just kind of went with it. And eventually, we decided it was enough wrinkles and crinkles, and then we just stopped.
Yes. So the option of using gloves is your personal preference.
Yeah, it's been
But
all in my nails, by the way.
But like you said, you just want to grab the mixture, mold it to how you want your canvas to look.
Yeah,
Once you get it to the look you want to stop at that point.
yeah.
You don't want to do too much. Once you're satisfied with how you have your product, how you have your canvas, stop.
But you have to be satisfied
You
because
have to
once
be
you start
satisfied.
going past this process, it's going to get hard, and there is no going back to
Yeah.
change it later.
Yeah, once it hardens, that's it. This is a wrap. You stuck with what you got. So you want to make sure that you are fully 100% satisfied with the way you have it looking.
Right. And then after we did all that, then we went to add another layer to make it harder by pretty much just painting on the mixture that we used to soak the sheet in because it did wring out a little bit. So now since it's already not layer, but positioned and where we want it, now we can go back and paint this mixture on again just to make it even more harder.
Right. So this is where I said there were two parts to the mixture. This is now the second part. The first part, I poured out all of the liquid,
Mhm.
most of the liquid. So right now in the bucket, what I'm left with is more like a paste.
Okay, so I guess I
So
messed
this
up
is
on that part. It's mostly paste.
no, no. You're right. You were right. It's still you still have to paint it on, but
Yeah.
it's not like the liquid. It's mostly paste at this point.
Okay. And then after that, after we did all that, we decided to use some spray Mod Podge, which we actually already had some, so we didn't have to go out and buy that. So that is an extra cost you have to think about. But truthfully,
Yes.
I think with everything, even if we bought everything, like the stuff we didn't have, it still would be less than one. And this is the part I hated because it was a lot of painting.
Yeah. So it's definitely a lot of painting.
As you can see, we're painting and it's definitely sped up, but this painting took like 45 minutes. You know, it was the hardest part was painting that middle. As you see, we're both kind of leaving it to the end
Oh my God. Yes.
because it's like really hard to reach it. And we kind of had to like really stretch to get there.
Yeah.
And then after we painted it, we let it dry for.
About 2 hours.
So after we did the first coat, we had to do a second coat. And this second coat, maybe it took like 25 minutes. It was a lot quicker because it wasn't like we were doing the whole thing fully.
Mhm.
So the second coat was pretty easy, and then after the second coat, you know, we let that dry, and then we put it on the wall, and we'll let you guys see what it looks like on the wall, and hopefully you love it.
Yes. So while putting it on the wall, you want to make sure the piece is centered and positioned to where you want it. Now, you want to keep in mind this is a really large piece.
This is a large piece.
It is going to be heavy. It is a
Yes.
two-man job. And so the purpose is one and done.
Yeah, and you need to make sure that like whatever screws and stuff you're using, make sure you put it up there good because you will hate for it to fall down and break because it is just wood, wood frame up
Basically,
under that. So
yeah,
that could easily just break if it falls.
absolutely.
Whether it's like screwed in or not, it can still break apart.
Absolutely. And so, yeah, once you got it to where you want to get it, once you put it on the wall, you got to just take a step back and just bask in the
And
ambiance
just look at your work and be like, I did that.
of your piece and be like,
Well,
that's me.
I guess we did
Well,
that.
that's us.
Well, both of us trying to take all the credit. But yeah, so thanks guys. Hope you enjoyed our hope you enjoyed our home improvement doing a I don't even know what this will be called.
A textured
A
canvas
textured canvas using a sheet.
using a sheet. And as always, if you have any questions, if you want to try this product, we will list the materials
Yes.
down in the
Description.
description box. If you have any questions,
Description box.
whatever. If you if you have any questions, let us know. If you have any comments, let us know. And as always, please like, subscribe, and share.
Yes. And that's pretty much it. Everything that he just said. And can't wait to see you guys soon. We have some more videos coming up soon. And yeah, stay tuned.
Stay tuned, my
Love you
loves.
guys. Peace out. I'm gonna try the
Bye.
heart. Did I do it? I got it right. Peace.